Straight ahead on Urban Street.
Athletes Against Drugs is a nonprofit organization of athletes and community and corporate leaders whose mission is to help youth build clean bodies and strong minds through healthy activities, education, and public awareness programs.
Plus, Chuck D makes the rounds with his brand new book on the shelf, Fight the Power. All this and more up next on Urban Street.
From Chicago Network Television News, this is Urban Street with Ty Wansley, Richard Steele, and the Urban Street News team.
Hello and welcome to Urban Street. Our up-close interview with Public Enemy Group founder Chuck D in just a moment. Up first on Urban Street is part 2 of our series on African Americans in soaps. This week we continue with Young and the Restless star Kristoff St. Kristoff has been around the soap business for a while. His work includes co-starring with Vivica A. Fox on Daytime's first black-oriented drama, Generations, in the mid-'80s, before jumping over to The Young and the Restless.
One of the first gigs I did was an episode of That's My Mama, and people will remember that show with Ted Lange and Clifton Davis. Nothing like the rush from the audience that I felt. I was 7 years old, and that audience, when they introduced me and said, "I'm playing the role of," I forget the character name, "playing the role of such and such, Kristoff St. John," and I walked out there, and man, this crowd was out there, and I felt like I was 10 feet tall. I was a midget, you know, 7 years old. Man, I felt bigger than big. And I'll never forget that rush, that feeling, that adrenaline, that hit. And I said, man, this is for me. It was nice being a kid actor. And I didn't get caught up like some of the kids that we hear about. I had my father there to ground me. You know, he took me by my hand and said, let's go, let's do this walk together. He gave up his thing to help me out. And I am forever grateful for that.
Charles, do we want to knock this out now or during the 5, or do you want to run, Shamar? What do you want to do?
Why don't you guys run it?
African Americans on Daytime
Then you can be out of here.
have definitely increased since I noticed the arrival of a show that I did called Generations. Sally Sussman, the creator and head writer of Generations, was also the head writer of Young and the Restless. That show opened the door for many more of us to come on with strong, front-burning storylines. I jumped ship. On the last week of taping of Generations, I was asked to come over here to Young and the Restless. I was told it would be a reoccurring character. There'd be 4 shows. I said, cool. I didn't have to audition for it. I just kind of floated right in. By the end of my 2nd show, they wanted to sign me to a contract here. They saw the love, the chemistry that was going on between the characters of Drusilla and Neil. And I think the rest is history, more or less, for those 2 characters. I tend to believe that America is threatened, take that back, white America is threatened by black sexuality. And so seeing it on Daytime and seeing it work is a wonderful thing. And I saw it start happening on a lot of the different shows. Once it started happening here directly because of Generations, the other shows start pulling out their black storylines.
Kristoff finds difficulty in approaching writers of daytime television on African American storylines for his and many characters on Daytime today.
I've been told that if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. And I try to stick to that to a certain degree. We change some of our dialogue to reflect our culture, the lingo. My character, though, I think being a very articulate, well-spoken young man. Well, I used to be young. Now I'm starting to get old, so I do my best to give it my own flavor and to change certain words that I feel appropriate. Shamar Moore has been given free rein to basically pull whatever jargon he needs to out of his hat, out of his magical bag.
My brother Neil, it's funny. I have a lot of fun with Kristoff. You know, Kristoff who plays Neil, and I always say, man, you are a buster. It's like he just never knows anything. He's always happy-go-lucky. He just wants to have kids and just have his wife at home, and you know. And it's funny because Kristoff's nothing like that, and so he's got fans losing their mind. He's a chauvinist. He's old-fashioned. He need to be smacked, you know. And it's just funny. We have a ball. Kristoff's the man, and he's been real supportive of me. I mean, especially in my whole emergence onto the scene. I mean, because when I first got here, I was a nervous wreck. I was as green as they come, and he took me by the hand, by the shoulder, gave me that pat on the back, and said, "Brother, you're gonna be all right. Just believe in yourself, and we in this together."
We've come a long way, but we got a long way to go. You know, in my 6, almost 7 years here, I've done maybe half a dozen love scenes. Now, you know we get busy. 7 years? No. But it's been tastefully done. And, you know, and the one thing that I do respect is the fact that this family is dignified. He's a hardworking, successful businessman, something that you don't get to see on television that much. A positive role model.
It's time for the Coronet Showdown. This is a new brand name refrigerator. It comes with a guarantee and costs about $600. This is a brand name reconditioned refrigerator from Coronet. It comes with a guarantee and costs $375. When you want to spend your money wisely, your best bet is Coronet. Call 643-8800 for the store nearest you. Ask about our Coronet special, electric ranges for $99.
Come get the biggest savings on the South Side at the 115th and Halsted Mall. Save on brand names like Lugz, Fubu, Kanai, Mecca, and more. All your favorite sports jerseys and baseball caps are at the 115th and Halsted Mall. You can also find the coolest dress wear and the finest jewelry. Don't forget, there's also a Foot Locker for you to get the latest footwear. Come on out and get discount prices on the brand names you want at the 115th and Halsted Mall, right next to the Jewel Osco.